You know what time it is? It's time for booty bootlegs. I'm so lame, but I don't really care. Today at 2-Day Rentals, we're going to be talking about some bootleg figures that I have. I've kind of been collecting bootleg figures ever since I was a kid, really. It goes back to those Rambo figures I would always find at like flea markets and I mean, I was rough on my figures, and part of it was too. I made a lot of home movies with my figures, and I spared no expense. Okay, I'm talking leftover fireworks from 4th of July, taking them apart, putting them back together with different pieces. It's a wonder that any of them survived. But with bootlegs, as many of you may know, they're not made to the best quality, so lots of them got destroyed. I'm sure lots of them were the kind of the first to go whenever you're having a garage sale, and it's like, when you get, well, I'm not getting rid of these Aliens figures. Get rid of those old bootleg figures. I don't really want those. So sadly, some have been lost along the way over the years, but I'm still always on the lookout for them. I'm going to talk about a few that I have, a few of my favorite ones. Some of these I don't know a ton about at all. Actually, most of them I don't really know anything about, because that's the beauty of a booty leg. A booty leg, a bootleg, is they're kind of shrouded in mystery, or at least a lot of them are. So I would love it if you see these and you know a bit more about them. You're like, hey, this came from this part of the world, or this was a Mexico release, or whatever. Definitely comment down below. If you like what you see here, definitely take the time to like this video, subscribe, hit that notification button. I talk a lot about movie merchandise, a lot of emphasis on movie action figures, video games, movie licensed video games, music from time to time. So let's jump in and talk about some bootlegs. Dr. Venkman, Peter Venkman, this really awesome bootleg figure that I actually just recently found not too long ago. This thing is bulky, it's heavy, its knees bend a little bit. As you can see, he's got his proton pack in tow, and he's modeled after the cartoon version of Peter Venkman from the real Ghostbusters. And, this guy's seen a little action, his paint's chipping a little bit, but I think he's great. He sits very large. He's a very large figure, as some of these bootleg figures don't really scale with other figures that I have. It's kind of a bummer, but it's a standout piece amongst my Ghostbuster collection. And I picked this up at a flea market. I think it was like $10. And again, it's hard to gauge what these are worth. It's worth whatever someone wants to sell them for and what you're willing to pay for something like this. I mean, look at this goofy thing. But it's goofy, but it's not. It's hard to explain. I mean, the most action it has is this. And that's fun for any child to be able to just swing a proton pack around. Look at this. With real rope swinging action. But I love the fact that someone took the time to hand make this with somewhat good detail. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not great. It's definitely bootleg all day long. Dr. Venkman, Ghostbusters bootleg figure, don't know anything about it. My guess is it may be from Mexico. That would be my guess. And that's only based on the guy that sold it to me kind of thought that too. He goes, I think this is a bootleg from Mexico, but I don't know. I've never seen one of these. There's a good chance I may never see one again. And that may be a good thing. But I would actually like to maybe have a bootleg ghost to go along with this to kind of set up next to my collection. But bootleg Peter Venkman. Wonderful world we live in. Next little booty we have, and I probably should stop saying that. Next bootleg figure we have is the Joker. And as you can see, I'm a lot happier now that I have this figure. And I've had this one for a little bit. Same kind of story. Found him at a flea market, kind of swap meet thing. And this one I paid a little bit more for. I think this one was like $15. And the guy was like, do you know how hard it is to find this? And I was like, do you know how hard it is? I mean, how can you gauge it? I don't really know. But what I did like about it is that it actually kind of scales with some of the McFarlane figures. And he looks great up next to a McFarlane Batman. And you may have seen right here, and I'll show it more close, he's definitely telling Batman that he's number one with his middle finger. So, Birdman Joker, the Birdman Joker. It's an interesting thing that they did, and only in a bootleg figure would you have the Joker just flipping off Batman saying, you know what, screw you, this is my town. And, but yeah, of all these, I think the sculpt on the face is probably one of the best and it's just a neat little figure. I don't know what kind of Joker they were going for. It's something between the Cesar Romero and the animated Batman Joker and Jack Nicholson's Joker. It kind of throws all those into a blender a little bit, in my opinion. But a fun figure, not a lot of action or articulation, and that's what you're going to get with these sort of bootleg figures. It's just sort of one mold, but what more action do you need than telling Batman to, whatever off? Fun one. Love it. It looks great with my Batman stuff, and another little booty for the collection. I found these on eBay, and these are these knockoff bootleg Kenner Aliens figures. I just think that of all the figures that I have are bootleg, these look closest to what Kenner did, or whatever figure line they're supposed to be representing, and they fit in perfectly with the rest of my Kenner Aliens vs. Predator figures. As many of you may know that follow my channel, the Kenner Alien vs. Predator toy line is my favorite toy line. Aliens is my favorite movie. And so I was really excited to find these. I've seen on some different websites some knockoff Aliens figures. These in particular, I haven't seen pictures of before. Don't know where they came from. Couldn't even tell you. The listing didn't know. And so I think that they're great. I think one of them's supposed to look like Ripley or be a representation of Ripley. She's very tall. Like, she stands taller than the rest of the figures, which is not a huge problem. I mean, listen, not every human's the same height. But I do think I have a way to maybe bring her scale down a little bit. She has this extra kind of piece of plastic around her ankles. And I think if I kind of cut that out and removed it, then reattach the boots, she would shrink down and fit very nicely. And then the other one, I've kind of been using him as my Lieutenant Gorman figure. Even though he always was an asshole, I need a Gorman figure in my Kenner Aliens line. And if I'm going to keep going down that route and do like a lazy sort of custom with this, I'll just have to paint the hair. As you can see in the back, it's black. And just paint it, even though he had a shaved head. So I don't know. I don't know how it'll work, but even if it's not movie accurate, screen accurate, with the sort of military, the hat on, the little build cap, he kind of works as a Gorman figure. So we'll see. And, I've been back and forth about if I'm going to customize these further, take the head off, swap it out. I don't think so. I think I'm going to keep them as it is, just because it's just so awesome to have these, because, again, there's no gauge, there's no reference to see where these came from, what they're worth. I think I paid $15 for them. Maybe I overpaid. I don't really know. But given that I love that figure line so much, it's neat to have something a bit different that, maybe most people don't have in their collection. Or if you do, comment down below. Or if you have more information about any of these figures, these in particular, because I would love to know more about them, I would love to hear from you. So holler at me and let me know. Let me know about these booties here. Keeping with the theme of Aliens and Alien vs. Predator, we have this old Mamba Jamba. Big booty. Look at this sucker. This is a bootleg Predator figure. Same flea market. I got Peter Venkman and the Joker. I've had this one longer than I think any of them. Many, many years ago. And the guy selling this, at one point, he said at one point in time, I had Aliens too that were the same size. And he had some bootleg like wrestling figures, but this is the one that I wanted. This thing is so awesome, and I think probably has the best detail of all of them. And I know I said that about the other ones, but I really do think this one does. It's got kind of a weird, very vibrant paint job, something you may see in a comic, but these really neat skulls that are molded into its armor, and it's got everything that you would want from a Predator figure. And even the dreadlocks are this kind of clear plastic on the back, and he's great. He's seen some action. The paint's chipped a little bit. That's all right. I'm not going to bother repainting it. I think it just has that personality of a bootleg when the paint's a little chipped on it or something. I don't know. But this thing's great. It doesn't scale with any other Predator or Aliens figures I have. It's just sort of an in-between size, or, slightly bigger than some of the Lannard or NECA Predator figures, definitely bigger than the Kenner figures, but that's okay. He stands out on his own. And I paid the most for this one. I think this one was $20. And the guy, if I remember the conversation correctly, he did tell me it's from Mexico. I had no problem paying 20 bucks for this. To me, I feel like it's worth more because it's so unique. It's got a story of its own. It's just a really great big hunk of plastic of a figure. And he looks awesome sort of displayed with the rest of my Predator figures because he stands out and he's so very unique. But yeah, it's a little Predator booty for you. Predator booty for you. I'm sure we are all very familiar with James Cameron's classic movie, The Protector and The Protector 2. And that's the figures I'm going to be talking about next. These really wild bootleg Terminator figures. I found these on eBay, bundled together, and I got two of them. We have the Protector Adventure playset. Okay, the Protector. Obviously, it's supposed to be the Terminator. And then the other one, he's on his motorcycle. And it's got a little action to it where it says it's got some friction action where you kind of wind it up. I've never been able to get it to move the way that it should. Let's talk about this one first. This thing it's just wild. I've kept it in the package for now just because why not? And it's funny because I think this is actually really looks more like the Protector, the Terminator from the first film, especially with some of the armament he has. But the dog's more like from, well, it's all of them really, since he can detect Terminator. It's weird that it came with a dog. It's not weird. It's just strange that. And anyway, I don't know. It was an odd choice to put a dog with it. I mean, I get it. The dogs can sense the machines, but weird accessory to throw in with these. And of course, the other one is on his motorcycle. And, these are made to look like the Kenner figures, I think, especially with the, purple shirt that he has on, or maybe the no shirt, kind of like a couple of the Kenner Terminator figures, but they don't scale with them at all. They're much smaller. And I'm not sure what these discs are. Maybe they're display stands. It doesn't say. It doesn't say. But it does have movable arms. Kids, save your pennies. This Terminator figure comes with a dog and has movable arms. It's worth all your hard-earned cash from your summer job. But I was happy with them because I came across these on eBay and I just had to have them. They're so weird. There's nothing on the back of the package either. They're by, what's the name of the company that these are by? I thought it said on here. Maybe it doesn't. Again, that's a bootleg, you just don't really know. And obviously they couldn't use the Terminator on there. That would be some licensing infringement, so they went with the Protector, which kind of works. Imagine if the film was called The Protector. I feel like he almost scales better with the Kenner figures. Let's hold one up next to it and see. Yeah, I mean, pretty close. So maybe I will take it out of the package and he can be my Terminator in my Kenner line, because the Kenner Terminator figures they're a lot bigger and bulkier. I'll get into that in another video. But, those are my bootleg figures. And I have a few more, but these are the ones that I really wanted to highlight because they sort of are representations of some of my favorite films. And they're just so odd and so quirky. And again, like I said, I'm always on the lookout for bootleg stuff. And there's a flea market that's close to me. It's hit or miss with everything, but sometimes you will find some people selling some of the stuff from Mexico and different parts of the world where they've come up with bootlegs. And I just think that it's neat to add to your collection. If you're a collector like me and you're looking for just something different, man, these fall right into my wheelhouse. Viewers, let me know. Do you have any bootleg figures in your collection? Did this video inspire you to go booty hunting? Go bootleg hunting? Let me know. And if you have any more info about these figures, like I said, I would love to hear, because I know very little about them, but that's kind of what's neat. They're a mystery to us all. Thank you so much for stopping by 2-Day Rentals. Let's be kind as we rewind and fast forward through time. Thanks so much for stopping by.